going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LEGO YouTube video. It is a rainy day, which means it is the perfect day to finally place my newly finished LEGO UCS AT-AT that I got myself for May the 4th, and one thing I just want to get out of the way, this is way bigger than I thought it would be, which I guess is a good thing, because it's like $850, so like, you definitely want like a good value when you pay that much for a LEGO set, but just the amount of detail inside of this set just takes my breath away, and I feel like it is just way better in person than I ever thought it would be. I saw it at the LEGO store a couple years ago, and really to just give you a sense of how big it is, that's the minifigure included, and then this is the entire model, so placing this, I feel like, will be a bigger challenge than I thought. Also, I have to properly kind of like utilize the display plaque too, so we've got to do some reorganizing, and I think one thing that I want to do is kind of free up this half shelf over here, because I wanted to kind of like display these two sets with it, but just seeing how big the AT-AT is, I don't think that'll be possible, so we're gonna have to rethink how I'm going to display this here. I still want to put it in the place I was imagining it for like the past year on this bookshelf with the other UCS sets, so let's just go ahead and get her moved over. Again, just such a massive set, and it is really heavy too, so I wanted to put it on this bookshelf too, just so I didn't risk it like falling off a shelf and making the shelf collapse, and here it is just by itself on the shelf, and I think it looks really nice. It fits in. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, so like it's a bit of an issue, but I thought I could probably get creative and display some more sets around it. I mean, it looks good, but I feel like I could make it look even better. And one thing that I wasn't expecting was for the head to poke out like this. I just did not realize how long it would be, and also like one of the feet is not able to like actually fit inside of it too, so it kind of overhangs over that shelf just a little bit too. But like one thing I want to do to kind of like really utilize this display space is like move this shelf with the Millennium Falcon plaque down a bit, just so I can hopefully fit the probe droid above it. That's my original plan, because I really wanted to have the probe droid with the AT-AT, because they're both kind of UCS sets, and I thought it would look cool, so we're going to try that out. I really hope it does fit here, but I guess we'll see, and unfortunately not. It's like just a little bit too tall to actually fit here, but oh well, we'll find something else. What I am really happy about is that the snow speeder from the Hoth Wampa Cave is like perfectly in scale with the AT-AT, and I think that looks really clean underneath it, especially with Luke kind of hanging from the AT-AT, and I kind of moved the shelf down a bit over here, so let's go ahead and put some stuff on here. We've got the AT-AT plaque and the UCS Millennium Falcon plaque, which I think provides a really nice, like, clean kind of look to it, and I really like how this all came together, but one thing I'm not really happy about is there's just like that big gap above the plaques now, which I don't really know what to do with, but I did decide to pose some of the main characters from the AT-AT with the display plaque, and I think that looks pretty nice. And then I decided to move the AT-ST over here, because that's also in scale with the UCS AT-AT, and I thought that looked good, and it kind of like took up a little bit of that empty space while not making things look too crowded, so I like how that turned out. But now I have to kind of reorganize this other Hoth shelf too, so we're going to kind of like completely take everything off of here just so I can kind of redo the display and make it work with the UCS AT-AT. I also had to free up these two shelves here next to my TV because I wanted to have the UCS probe droid really close to the other UCS sets, and then also especially I wanted it close to the AT-AT, and so here's what we've got kind of right here now, but like I do have to find space for all of these other sets that were previously on the shelf, and so basically all I did, I just moved Grogu and the Mando sets down a bit, and then here's what I was thinking. I was going to put like the AT-ST next to the probe droid, but I don't really like that, and then I thought, why don't I have both of the AT-ATs next to each other, but it's a cool idea on paper, but it just looks way too crowded. So I decided to go back to what I had before with the Hoth AT-ST over there, because I think that just looks really nice and clean. It has a lot of sets in the display space without it looking too crazy, and I also really like how the snow speeder looks, and then Luke dangling from the AT-AT also looks really good, so I'm happy with this. I think this will probably be the finalized display for the AT-AT, and I'm really happy with what I was able to do here, and we've kind of finished things up here now. So I also wanted to show y'all what I did with the probe droid. So we've got the probe droid over here, and then I thought it'd be cool to kind of have like the kind of like minifigure scale probe droid next to it, and then we've got like the Wampa Cave with the Tauntaun and the Wampa over here, and then I decided to add a shelf to this display and kind of like have the AT-AT plaque on its own like unique shelf with the minifigures and speeders and some of the side builds from it, and I thought that looked pretty cool. And then I was able to kind of move the UCS Falcon plaque closer to the Falcon and also keep the holiday diorama there, so I didn't have to find space for that. And I think this really worked out how I wanted it to. I'm really happy with everything. However, there are a few other sets that I have to find space for now too, so we're going to kind of clear off some more space over here. It gives me a good opportunity to dust the shelves too, which I thought was cool. But one thing I want to do is I want to move this Dagobah training diorama because I'm not really happy with it next to Jabba's palace. And also, just real quick, I added some more minifigures to the rest of the display over here too, so I just thought I'd show that off just to kind of like pop the display a bit more, I guess. But here's one of the new display shelves. Not 100% happy with it, but I think it looks cool. I like having both of the Jabba's palaces next to each other, but it still does kind of need a little bit of work. This bottom shelf is kind of just thrown together too, so I do want to workshop this a bit, but like it works. I'm able to put all the sets here. I just feel like I'm not really utilizing that shelf space as much as I could, so I do kind of like in future videos want to work on that a bit, but for now it's good because every set in my collection has a place, and I think I'm definitely going to workshop the actual bookshelves. The UCS AT-AT display, I'm really happy with. I don't really foresee me changing anything up too much unless I think of like a better display idea, but I think this works for how I have the display. I'm really happy with everything that is around it. I like how I was able to put it with the other UCS sets. I like how the plaques all blend in together. I was able to show off the minifigures and just some of the other side builds of the AT-AT effectively, and I just like having sets that are in scale with it kind of around it too. And I also like how I was able to keep up the trend with the UCS stuff on the little like small nightstand type shelf. However, some areas definitely need some work, I'll admit, so I'll probably work on those in future videos. But there's the UCS AT-AT placement. I'm really happy with it. A lot bigger than I thought it would be, so like I had to kind of switch up my display plan, but I'm happy I was able to make things work out in the end. So definitely let me know what you thought of my placement and the video down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe, but that is all for today. Peace out. Bye.